All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business today. See if we see that it has BSS, aka boudoir search sameness, with these two Google searches here. Now we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So got our FSIC, kind of our graph here in white. Highest intent people on the left, Google search, social search, they're searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. The videos talk about here, dealing with that, BSS. Over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps. We got to reach them through interruption ads, Facebook, Instagram. They are not searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now, and they most likely have no idea what the heck it even is. So we talk about that in our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And currently over there, we currently only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. Some boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots, we're dead. If we're in page 2 or deeper only, and that's because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So we're invisible to approximately 80% of the market, which would be the buyers if we're on page 2. We got to be on page 1. And 1 slot on page 1 is not good enough either, because everyone, literally everyone is, the other 9 boudoir photographers that'll be there, because organic search has 10 slots on Google. None of the boudoir photographers, everyone's got 1 slot. We're looking the same as everyone else. We're still invisible, not looking at anything special. And boudoir photographers, or buyers, when they go and search, they're actually approximately 80% only use page 1. So they click on everyone on page 1, open up their website, fill out their contact form, contact them, price shop, compare, and drive margins down, drive price down, negotiate, waste everyone's time. And so BSS is just bad for everyone. Well, bad for all boudoir photography businesses. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. So it's common, it's accepted, it's not normal. It's 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So basically everyone knows market saturation. Yeah, you'll get new gear over time, new iPhone, new camera, and then decide to start posting or, throw out their Google My Business profile saying they offer boudoir photo shoots now. Or, and they got their boudoir website, ranking page 1 on Google, competing with all of us. And they're also posting in the mom Facebook groups and they shoot boudoir now, offer boudoir shoots now. So everyone knows about that. Kind of more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for each seller. Also saw that time during COVID, people lost their jobs but still needed to earn money. And as a result, they actually went and, basically they went and had super saturation for in a lot of cities. Now, false belief page 1 equality, very few people know about that, if any. And this is basically assuming every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. And it's kind of a coin flip if you get 0 or 1. And maybe you did have 1 slot on page 1 on Google, but then someone else ranked better with their new website, that entered the marketplace. So you got kicked off to page 2, and then you're like, oh, well, that's simply how it is. And then you hope they delete their website and Google de-indexes them so you can get back onto page 1. Wrong, wrong, wrong. This is 100% incorrect. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days. So I know that Google will actually give as many page 1 slots as you want to put in the effort to acquire. 100% guaranteed. And I know because I've done it. Now, boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. Yeah, man. So if you're on page 2 or deeper, invisible to approximately 80% of the market, you're obviously disappearing. And if you're on page 1 but only have 1 link, looking the same as the other 9 competing boudoir photographers there, you're also disappearing. You're invisible. Your margins are definitely disappearing, even if you are getting inquiries. And as a result, we say this DBP, disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS, it's kind of the check engine light, the first flag, the canary in the coal mine that the boudoir photography business itself is going on a path to totally disappearing. Luckily, we found the solution. We found it because we discovered it and we created it. We found that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. That's kind of like the snow at the top of the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America, the east side. And that snow melts, goes into small streams, small rivers, and then it all flows into the massive Amazon River. That's page one on Google search, but it all starts with the snow up at the top. That's our social search saturation. Without the snow, there ain't no rivers. And this is actually the only solution for boudoir photographers I've seen that can still allow boudoir photography business to grow in spite of massive market saturation relatively quickly without even having a brand, a large known brand. And we know because, brands take like, dude, 5 to 10 years to build up a large known brand. Dude, we ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI's here taking people's jobs. We need maximum exposure, page one, social search, Google search right now. And so waiting to build a brand ain't going to do that. And actually, my estimate is utilizing SQ methodology will actually speed up the process of having a large, well-known brand by approximately 8x. So imagine you're a large, well-known brand, people come to you, and you're still utilizing SQ methodology, you're basically be untouchable, no matter how much market saturation is there. So an example for SQ methodology allowing or enabling a boudoir photography business to still grow in the face of market saturation is, let's say we got 1 million boudoir photographers in LA, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir photography, and they are, everyone's got their website trying to rank page one on Google. There's only 10 slots for 1 million boudoir photographers. Insanely competitive. Everyone's being price shopped down to like zero margin because there's so many competitors. And as a result, we are, since we don't have a brand, the only other solution we got is SQ methodology. So say we take it, we crank it up to the max. Now let's say for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, what actually happens is, let's say we're taking up the first 300 slots on social search for all sorts, social media platforms for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And as a result, that flows onto Google page one, and we actually get 300 slots for Google. Well, the first 10 slots, it's 10 organic slots per page. So the first we're taking out basically the first 30 pages is essentially only us. So boudoir buyer would basically have to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors on Google, and same on social search. So that's social search, scroll down all the way to slot 301. And so in this case, whose business is growing? We're taking up essentially all the slots, anyone, everywhere, wherever anyone looks on social search. Well, we're probably the only business still growing because we're essentially the only one they can find. Everywhere they look, it's only us. So, this is a maximum example, but this is the magic of SQ methodology that could happen. Now, once treated with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. And we get a second initial benefit, which is we're able to kick competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So this actually benefited a lot of boudoir photographers like more. This is the more slots we get, page one, first benefit, we actually kick our competing boudoir photographers off page two, second benefit, making them invisible to the approximately 80% of boudoir buyers searching on Google. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. We care about, the GBC universe recommends to have 3 out of 10 minimum number of slots page one on Google. And the reason for that is, basically everyone else is going to have 1 slot. So our 3 slots versus 1, they're 1. We're going to look amazingly exceptional against them. And on the rare chance someone has 2 slots, well, we're dominating them as well. That's kind of basically guaranteeing us winning in all scenarios. And obviously we can increase that above 3 if we want. And a boudoir photographer with BSV, boudoir search visibility, is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, we finally now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, now my results, quick results with me, utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. I want to dominate page one on Google for this search term, BLCS boudoir. So I started with 0 out of 10 slots page one Google search, and I started utilizing S-cubed methodology. So here we go, organic. Instagram slot, page 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And so I went from 0 out of 10 slots page one on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page one on Google search in only 10 days, purely utilizing SQ methodology. Did not even have a website. So these are the results I've gotten with it. So now we're going to look at this boudoir photography business. Going to check. So all this is based on the Google page one searches here. So we got these two Google searches. Let's check these out. So first one, we got boudoir photographer. Is that the first one? No, I think. Oh no, St. Augustine should be the first one. I got to do St. Augustine here. Boudoir photography, St. Augustine. St. Augustine. And there we go. All right. So let's see what we got here. Look for a supernova. There we go. So we got they got one slot. And all right, we got two slots here. Wedding wire. Yeah. We do not have BSS, so we got two slots here. That's fine. That's good. We perfect. Now we've not hit the GBC minimum. We want to have 3 out of 10 here, but hey, we do not have BSS for the search, so that's good. Now we want to hit the GBC 3 out of 10 minimum because that's kind of the only safe time we can say, hey, we're not going to disappear, we're not going to decline. We may not grow, but we'll probably at least tread water. So no BSS, but we're not hitting the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 here. Let's check our Jacksonville, Florida. All right, so still looking for the same supernova. So we got one. And nope. All right, none of these are specifically about us only. We got 1 out of 10. So we got BSS for the second search at Jacksonville, Florida. Bigger city. So BSS is more common in the bigger cities, obviously, more keyword competition. So we do not have BSS for St. Augustine, Florida. That's good, but we did not meet the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. But we do have BSS for the Jacksonville, Florida search, and we also did not hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. All right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local searches, you've done your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you've had 0 or 1 slots, so you've had BSS for at least one of those, and or you have not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google for any one of those, and you've accepted the false belief of page one equality. So you actually know Google wants to give us as many page one slots as we want to put in the effort to take. And you're seeing SQ methodology is the only way forward, the only path forward to acquire all those slots. It's actually, you've been waiting for something like this. And you're liking the initial benefits of SQ methodology, more slots page one on Google. You really like that page one on Google. You actually really can kick your competitors off page one on Google, effectively making them invisible or making them disappearing and making their business go down the path of disappearing. So you really like that. And you actually want actually looking ahead because you understand market saturation and you're realizing that AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs. So not only do you need these slots on Google, you actually need to overslot on Google. You need to fortify your position for all of the new boudoir photographers that are going to be entering the marketplace. And as a result, the only solution you can see that'll help you fortify your position page one, literally get like so many links to page one that Google can't even rank all your links on page one, and they push you back to taking over page 2 and 3 and 4 because you got so many page one backup links. The only solution you see that can provide that benefit is SQ methodology, basically like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city's below sea level, so fortifying it against the ocean. You're fortifying this against current boudoir, current boudoir photographers getting anywhere on page one, and also any future boudoir photographers or AI is taking their jobs, force them to become boudoir photographer, ever ranking page one as well. And you want to achieve page one visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility because you know you need these things on your way to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. You also understand SQ methodology is basically building invisible thematic keyword columns on the, kind of out in cyberspace, basically in the AI mindshare in cyberspace, kind of have these columns connected to your brand, your business name, your social handles out there in cyberspace where AI really cares about, repetition, relevance, frequency, authority, age of all these invisible thematic keyword columns. And every day we successfully execute methodology and grow those columns, increase those columns. We're increasing the probability we show up here AI overview, which means we're also increasing which is the most premium search placement there is. Cannot pay for this. And we're also increasing the probability that AI search recommends us. And we don't get any of these benefits paying for any ads. This is only through S-cubed methodology. And increased probability AI search recommends us, and that'd be things like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, kind of increase in probability we show up in these searches, which these searches increase every single day in usage. I remember the last time I searched ChatGPT for boudoir photographers in a city, it gave me 3. And I actually went and did a manual Google and search and Facebook search. And dude, there's like 60. It's like, man, we got to find some way to get one of these 3 slots. And yeah, SQ methodology is the only solution you see out there that does increase that probability every day that we successfully execute it. And you're also like in that, can help you create a large, well-known brand, approximately 8x faster than every other method. So market saturation becomes less and less a problem for you. And imagine if you continue using SQ methodology when you have a large, well-known brand, essentially be, unbeatable. And you also understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And so as a result, you're liking that you can get all these benefits, but also exclude your competitors from getting all these benefits. And you can actually build up, you can kick them off their first pages, Google, fortify page 1 against them to never actually increase, never actually get back onto page 1, essentially. And you can also build up such a large kind of gap with the backend AI mindshare with those keywords, those invisible thematic keyword columns, that your competitors in the city really have no chance to ever catch up to you. So you decide to be a first mover and actually acquire all these things, all these benefits, and exclude your competitors from getting all these benefits. And you understand the converse, where if one of your competitors in your city was a first mover and signed out with me before you, they'd be getting all these benefits. You'd be kicked off page 1 on Google, maybe even page 2, relegated, way deep in the catalog. Definitely be disappearing. You would definitely be a disappearing boudoir photographer. We'd then be fortifying it, page 1 against you ever climbing back on there. We'd be building the backend AI keyword mindshare for your boudoir photography competitor in your city, building up their brand, building up a gap so large that basically no other competitor, including you, could ever reach them. And in order to compete with that, you would have to rederive SQ methodology all on your own. And once you rederive that all on your own, you'd never actually be 100% confident you derived it correctly. You would actually have to then go successfully execute every single day, same as us. And then when you do that, the most that you would get is you would maintain the gap me and your competitor have already built in front of you because you'd be equaling our output each day. So you'd have to actually 2 to 3x our effort every single day, but it'd be hard to commit that much time because, again, you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly in the first place. And, to do all this, who's got 80 hours in a day? So you're deciding, screw that. You decide you're going to be the first mover in your city. And as a result, that's you. Shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed because the hospital is currently closed for new patient intake. But when the hospital does reopen for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.